Before I answer your questions, I would like to say that who really gets into doubts and who are the people who never have any questions? The humanity can be grouped into these two groups. The people who have questions, the people who do not have questions, or never have questions. Let me talk about the people who never had any questions, or do not have questions. They might have had before. The people who never think. See? They're even too lazy to think. So they never have to question anything. Simply, whatever it is, okay, fine. Too lazy to even think of. The total illiterates. Never thought anything, never read anything, never heard anything. And what is the question there in their life? Nothing. The other category in the never have questions, the people who know all the answers already. There's no need for them to ask questions because they know it already. The one who doesn't want to know, no question. The one who knows everything, no questions. Then who have the questions? The one who wants to know and do not know the answer. So the in-between, sort of halfway house people. Neither this extreme nor that extreme, the in-between. The people who are thinking and who want to reach the goal, they don't seem to find the way. In a way, almost all the scriptures are here by the way of answering the questions of the seekers. If you read the Upanishad, the 108 Upanishads in the Hindu system, they're all nothing but answers to the questions. The seeker asks, the seer says, explains. So the fact that people are asking questions means that they are looking for something. They are seeking for something. Now, why does anybody want to become a seeker? Why can't they just enjoy life and whatever comes, fine? Name, fame, money, possessions. They can just enjoy. What makes them become seekers? To make a little pun, when they become seekers, you know what I mean? When they become seekers, or at least to be a little more open, when in their life realize that they are sick and tired of everything, then they begin to seek. You see, you become sick first and then you begin to seek next. You see, the world is really very helpful in that respect. It makes you sick and tired, and sooner the better. Then you begin to seek. Yeah. That's why the Mother Nature is created for that purpose, to help you and to goad you towards the truth from the falsified life, superficial, shallow life. So that's why the scriptures say, know the mother first. Or in other words, know the nature and its nature first. That there is nothing deep in it. There is nothing permanent in it. Everything is impermanent. Power is impermanent. Position is impermanent. Name is impermanent. Fame is impermanent. Beauty is impermanent. You have to keep on lifting the face. Changing the nose. Nose is impermanent. Money is impermanent. Look at that budget problem now. It's all collapsing now. Dollar is impermanent. The other day, Chidananji was telling me that is it in Lebanon? It was 3, is it Lebanese pounds? For 3 pounds for $1 in those days. Now, very soon it has come down to 900 pounds for $1. One American dollar can buy only 3 Lebanese pounds in those days. Now they can buy 900 pounds. See the valuation? So what is permanent? The dollar. Even dollar itself. In those days, you by $1 you can buy a lot of things. Now for the same thing you have to pay at least $100. It has become, present dollar is a penny in those days. And that is the lesson that the world or the Mother Nature is trying to tell us. It's all right, use us, handle us, keep us, but do not depend on us for your permanent happiness. Patanjali in Raja Yoga says, Dukkhameva sarvam vivekinaha. For a viveki, for a person who has the discriminative faculty, who can discriminate which is permanent, which is impermanent, for such a person, everything is painful. There's nothing really happy in this world. You get excited, you lose depressed, keep on changing. So you become sick and tired. Oh, I'm sick and tired of the whole show. People even with a lot of money, they say, oh, I'm sick and tired. People with a lot of fame say, Hollywood, people go to Hollywood stars. They just want to drop out from the heaven. They're sick and tired of being. How many Hollywood stars ultimately end up in swallowing bottles of sleeping pills and collapse? We put their pictures everywhere, praise them, worship them more than gods. But in their personal life, they are sick and tired. That is the lesson that we learn. And when we become that kind of sick, then we say, so then where is the real happiness? How can I be permanently happy when all these things are going to make me miserable? Is there any way? Then you begin to seek. You begin to look for the right place. it is at that point you begin to question the value of the worldly things and the value of the real thing. So a questioning mind is a seeking mind. And when you really ask for it, you get the answer. It doesn't have to be from a particular individual or going somewhere here. If you really seek, anything and everything can begin to teach you. And that is the reason why we have a saying, when the student is ready, who appears? Teacher appears. Yeah. The student, when the student is ready, when you really look for the answer, teacher appears. In what form? Not necessarily with a long beard or with a shaven head or with an orange robe. Anything can teach you. Even a stone teaches you. A thorn under the rose can teach you a good lesson. I often say even a broomstick can teach you a fantastic lesson. But if you are ready to learn, yes. The great Guru, Dattatreya, had several Upagurus, he called them. A fisherman was a teacher. A drunkard was a teacher. You can learn from anything and anybody if you are interested in learning.
It is not an ordinary thing. This is a sanctified place. It is heaven on earth now. When good people of devotion and aspiration and spiritual vibrations, spiritual aura and spiritual samskaras and vasanas gather together and live together as a family and chant the name of God together, do silent meditation together, pray together, see, and do satsang and listen to spiritual discourse together. That place is sanctified. That place is hallowed. That place is verily with the presence of God's own place. See, it's like God's own place. It's more like Mecca or Medina or this Jerusalem, whatever, Kashi, Varanasi. There, you see, there is no Kali Yuga. In that place there is no Kali Yuga. Therefore, verily indeed, you are to be congratulated. You are most fortunate. You are gathered together treasures, spiritual treasures, and don't lose them. Don't lose them. See? Keep them. And that is where mind, the nature of the mind, control of the mind, all these things come. So much treasures you have gathered together over these 3 or 4 or 5 days. In morning meditation period, maybe you must have had readings done from Gurudev's books and Swami Satchidananda's books, and all the questions and answer sessions, maybe all these things you have to take together and treasure it and keep it, reflect over it and meditate upon it. But the mind will not allow you to do it. Before you go halfway to your home, half of it will be forgotten. See, part of the business of the mind is to make you forget all things worthwhile remembering. See? And that which is so much of garbage, that which is so much of dirty, it should not be in the mind. You must forget it long ago. You should throw it out. You will never be able to forget. It will always be there. And it will come only when you are trying to meditate in the morning. You won't know where it is. All the most unnecessary, unwanted, undesirable things, they will come up. So what you want to forget, you will not forget. And it will come when you don't want it to come. And so that's the perpetual question always aimed at gurus. What to do, Swamiji? When I sit to meditate, Number one, mind cannot concentrate, always disturbing here. Number two, horrible thoughts come into me. Horrible thoughts. I am shocked. I despair. I want to meditate upon God. Oh, such impossible things come. I am frightened. Where do they come from? Nowhere. Don't worry. It is coming from inside you only. Because sometime or other it has been put into the computer. See? But this computer does not give data only when you ask for it. Uncalled, unasked also, it starts spewing things. See? And so, this is the nature of the mind. It retains what should not be retained, and what you want to carefully remember, 50% will be forgotten 50 kilometers. And as you drive 100 kilometers slowly. So, God Himself has said, He is both mind, remembrance as well as its opposite. Forgetfulness. Forgetfulness. Therefore, you must make a special effort. Therefore, Gurudev used to say, after hearing a satsang devotedly, first important thing is, mind will not allow you to hear it with full attention. While the speaker is speaking, 5-10 minutes it will hear. Afterwards it will start being distracted here and there. I will take it there, and ear will take it somewhere else. And sometimes you will be appearing as though you are a very, very attentive hearer. But mind will be somewhere, wool gathering somewhere else. And the speaker will feel flattered. How attentively this person is here. The person is not there. Therefore, Baba Ramdas had to write a special book, Be Here Now. Because mind goes away. It goes on its own round. Body is here, mind is elsewhere. These are all things, if you listen attentively, he used to say, first of all, little attentively you must hear. Gurudev used to say, Datta Chitta. Listen, Datta Chitta. That means giving your entire mind, listen to what is going on. And he used to say, immediately after the satsang, when the satsang is over, you disperse. Don't go here and there chattering, people gossiping. Go straight before it evaporates, jot it down. Go straight to your room or sit under a tree somewhere alone, and then recollect and jot down when it's still fresh in your mind. Jot down all the main points. Then go on doing it all 3 or 4 days. Because he used to say that, because in headquarters, Rishikesh, Gurudev's holy ashram on the banks of Divine Mother Ganga, in his days, we used to have every year 2 such spiritual retreats of full 1 week's duration, 7 days. And here in West nowadays, the usually it starts, so-called 4 days retreat means Friday evening they will come. It will start only in the nights. And then the whole of Saturday it will be there. And Sunday sometimes it will be over after lunchtime. So actually it is hardly 1.5 days. But in Rishikesh, the spiritual retreat was 7 days, and the first day it started from 4 a.m. in the morning. And so during sadhana week, day after day, there are many discourses. So you say, each day's discourse, go and take down notes, keep a diary, maintain a diary. And many of them did it. So year after year they used to come. They accumulated a good, big diary of spiritual directions, information, instructions, inspirational words. So they all become wonderful sadhaks. And sometimes he asked if someone was maintaining a diary very regularly, hey, what are you keeping? I am keeping notes. Let me see. Oh, you are very thorough. Oh, give it to me. I will give it to afterwards. He will give it to someone, type half a dozen copies of all his notes. And then he will publish it in the Divine Life magazine, and soon afterwards, if there is some book, he will add this also to that book. He will add it to the book, so it will go all over the world. Like that, he never allowed any good word of wisdom or instruction to be lost. This was the way. But unless you know how to counter the mind, you know what the nature of the mind is to make things forget. It will fade away after something. So to counter it, I will put it down in black and white. So mind cannot play any trick with me because now it is concrete outside. So even if the mind forgets, I have got it in front of me. Now thanks to science, we have got all things into tape. See, cassette tape. So, this problem of mind, how to remember, how not allow it to forget, how to control it, and allow it only to give admission to such thoughts that are okay, and not give admission to thoughts we don't want. It is a most important science. Most important science. And a unique book Gurudev wrote long ago, nearly 50 years back. He wrote a book called Mind, Its Mysteries and Control. The first part of it was already in print, even as early as 1934. See? It was printed in a well-known press, Gorakhpur, Gita Press, Gorakhpur. They printed only Hindi and Sanskrit works. But they were so much taken up by this book of Guru, the teachings of Gurudev, they undertook to print in English, a rare departure for them. You see, in English, Gurudev's first edition of Mind, Its Mysteries and Control, Part 1. And later on it has been expanded. It's a unique book of its kind in the world. The importance of knowing about our mind and knowing also how to control it is precisely because mind constitutes your human status. You are a human being because you have a thinking faculty. And also, in that thinking faculty, a specialized faculty, reasoning faculty. See? The faculty of intellect, intelligent reasoning, logic, asking questions, inquiring, analyzing, and discriminating, further investigating, making research, comparing and contrasting. All these things, the higher aspect of the mental mechanism called the intellectual function, intellectual process, is able to do. That is why we are human beings. Biologically, we are same as any animal, any creature, any subhuman creature. Absolutely no difference. See? In all the functionings of the biological, physical body, see, everything duplicated throughout nature. See? Eating, drinking, sleeping, sex, and fatigue, desire for rest, fear, desire for survival, they are same in all forms of life, including this animal, physical animal, whether it's an insect or a reptile or a bird or a fish or a beast or a big animal, whether it's an elephant or a giraffe or a camel or a small little animal, or this physically the human animal is the same as any other form of living beings. Biologically, physically we are the same, with one little exception. That is, we have a vertebral column, spine. Other animals have got a horizontal vertebral column that is parallel to the ground. Parallel to the ground. That means they live all their life and pass away in the same level of evolution. They don't ascend, go higher and higher. That ability only man, as it were, to symbolize that his spirit has a vertical dimension, it can ascend to higher heights. Otherwise, biologically, we are all animals. Because we are endowed with this inner faculty, inner man, the psychological being, that mechanism which gives us, endows us with the power to think, feel, reason. We are human beings. And therefore, that constitutes our human status. And because we, man, the animal, became endowed with this unique faculty, he became the human being, human creature. Our species became different. And because he was endowed by this unique feature, now we have conquered everything. We have landed a man on the moon. We are able to take 400 passengers in comfort. See? Beyond the clouds, more than 5 miles away from the surface of the earth. 35,000 feet above sea level. And in comfort, where there is maybe below 65 degrees temperature outside the plane. If you fall there, finished. You will become frozen there. And inside you sit in comfort. And you even ask for a cold drink with ice in it. See, when the outside temperature is minus 65. And all because of this marvel called mind of man. But then, man because of his mind, he creates such terrible problems. That one such problem is there in Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. And due to that, all the nations are upset. And the most upset nation is our beloved United States of America. There was almost a budget crisis due to one man's brain working in some peculiar direction. Whole of the Congress is upset. All the cabinet is upset. And for the first time, the whole nation says no to the president. See, when he wanted to push through some budget proposal, they said no. First time. And he said, if that is so, in a huff he said, all projects which federal government has been funding, they'll have to come to a standstill. And they have come to a standstill also. Because of this. And thousands, tens of thousands of newlywed husbands, tens of thousands of sons of anxious parents, tens of thousands of brothers, they are all there in the sweltering heat of the Arabian desert. Maybe sand gets into their nose and mouth and ears when the wind blows, and sand gets into their food also. They are there. One man's, if one man's erratic mind can cause such a disastrous situation for thousands of people, anxious people, so that the financial personality in Bush's cabinet has to go around asking for money. You give me, otherwise we cannot carry on this war, you give me money. And America, that was been giving, third world, is a giver, now is going and asking. Now, multiply this one erratic, eccentric, wrongly directed, wrongly functioning, malfunctioning mind with 100, with 1,000, with 10,000. Then you have the explanation of why we have lunatic asylums, why we have psychiatric clinics, why we have people half well, half ill, going in and out of hospitals due to their not being able to understand their mind, not being able to manage their mind, not being able to control that mind. Why we have courts and penal laws, police force, judges, and sentences, juries and prison houses where people cannot manage. Why it is? If man's mind was an asset, it made him unique, the crown and glory of God's creation, high above all other forms of life. He could send a man to the moon, he could make this Concorde fly, breaking the time sound barrier, and do all these things. How many other miraculous, marvelous things man's mind, research, scientific advancement, technology has brought about? Incredible. But nevertheless, if you look at the other things, it is the mind of man that produces criminals, rapists, murderers, mugging people, robbers, dacoits, terrorists. See? It is these people that, because of the mind, if it goes in the wrong direction, it creates not animals out of human beings, but worse than animals. Human beings can perpetrate such havoc, such terrible, disastrous havoc, that even all the jungle animals put together, they will not be able to create such situations for human society. It's very, very necessary, therefore. If this endowment should become an asset, we must know how to manage it. We must know about it. We must know its nature. We must learn the science of controlling the mind. If it should be an asset. If you do not do it, it will become your liability. It will make you a problem to yourself, problem to others, cause all sorts of situations inside you. You will know what is wrong, what should not be done, but there will be some sort of the impulsive, compulsive urge to go and do something. With such urge, people even go and set fire. Just to see, they set fire to some place. And therefore, our ancients knew this very well. They said, mind is at once the greatest endowment as well as the greatest problem of the human individual. And they put it very cryptically in a small little sentence, very small little sentence, but so deep with significance and meaning that you can keep on pondering it all your life. Every day you must think about it. He said, Manameva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. What did they say? They said, Manameva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. It is very the mind itself that of man is the cause of both his bondage as well as his liberation. Manameva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. Therefore, the great world teacher Lord Krishna devoted an entire chapter of his Bhagavad Gita wisdom teachings only to try to tell us the nature of the mind, how to control it, what one must do. 6th chapter. And another great sage, Maharshi Patanjali, wrote an entire manual on the science of mind, trying to tell what the mind is, what it is made up of, what is its nature, and what are its characteristics, how it behaves, why it behaves so, and what to do to control it. He wrote an entire manual, the science of mind control, yoga. Vedanta also, many books, many Upanishads tell about the mind. Western people also have studied about the mind. But then, poles apart. The Western study of mind, Eastern study of poles apart. For the study of the Western, Occidental, modern psychologists was the human mind. And that too, they somehow or other were compelled out of necessity to undertake this study. See, it was, as they say, necessity is the mother of invention. They were compelled because at a certain time, medical doctors were trying to treat and cure people of their disease, and they were suddenly faced by an unsurmountable wall, as it were. Two things appeared before them. People came with illness, and they were examined and put to all the tests. They found nothing wrong with them. Everything was okay, and yet the person was ill. He said, "What is this?" Again they tested, again they took all the tests, and no examination proved the person to be perfectly all right. Physically, physiologically, biologically all right. But yet the person is ill. He is saying, "I am suffering." He said, then there must be some cause located somewhere else. Then they started probing into his family life, his habits. What is the matter? How is your family condition? Are you happy? Relationship with your wife or husband? Relationship with your parents? Relationship with your brothers? Have you got tension? Are you relaxed? Are you happy? So, this one thing led to another. Then they suddenly found that this person is suffering with his physical ailment because something is wrong with his mind. They were able to directly connect, a cause and effect connection, trace it to the mind. Then they said, we have to now, whole approach we have to make new, change our entire approach. Try to find out how to deal with the mind, change its condition, then automatically this will be changed. So they launched upon this study also. And of course they had rudiments of some Greek mythologies and all that in order to show them some direction. But it was a human mind. And also, mostly it was the morbid mind. Because people were in distress, difficulty. So they went to a doctor for help. He studied the mind. Already the mind was not in a normal condition. See? Whereas, the wonderful thing about the study of mind by the ancient Eastern seers and sages was, when they entered into illumination and realization of the Absolute, in that state of Absolute being, transcending time, space, causation, name, form, everything, they became illumined with total knowledge. Everything became revealed to them at that one moment, because they went beyond time. There was no past, present, future, nothing. Here, there, near, far, everything dissolved and disappeared, and they became illumined. They entered into an experience of total knowledge. And in that state, everything about this created phenomenon became clear to them. They were able to trace the origin of phenomenon from its absolute unmanifest state right up into its manifested state of countless multiplicity and the multifarity. And as they traced it, as they knew it, then they had the direct experience of how the unmanifest became manifest. How the one began to appear as many. The absolute, the transcendental, how it became relative. And what was the very first manifestation of the unmanifest becoming manifest? Then what next? Then what next? Then what next? The entire cosmogony, the gradual, progressive, involving into progressive grossness of matter and becoming many, it was all revealed to them. And then they found that among the various categories that came into being out of that absolute, undifferentiated, supreme substance, transcendental absolute substance, out of the various categories that came into being, one of the categories was the principle of mind principle. It is called the mind principle. Even before man was created, even before universes were created, I got the message. Even before the universes came into being, there was no sun, moon, stars, no world, no humanity, no life. But in the cosmic aspect of the mind principle, which now is individualized aspect in us, see, that already was known to them, and they understood its nature then and there. Mind as such, see, to my knowledge, there was only one other philosophical system which also insists only upon illumination, only upon realization. It opts for no second. Only one other philosophical system other than the Vedantic Indian system that had the same knowledge of the mind principle, and that is Taoism. See? Taoism. And sometimes this reference to mind principle in Zen philosophy, because it borrows heavily from Taoism. Though the technique has been borrowed from India to some extent, but the philosophy behind it is borrowed from Taoism. So they have this reference to mind principle. That is, mind per se, mind as such, mind by itself, not conditioned, not individualized, not the human mind, not any mind. The mind principle as such, as it evolved as one of the categories that came from the unmanifest into the manifest condition. And in their intuition, in their direct experience of this principle, they were able to say, this mind principle is by its very nature characterized by three qualities. Mind principle as such. Don't ask why, because why is a wrong question in philosophy. Yes, you can ask when, where, what, how. You cannot ask why. Why is called a wrong question because they call it Ati Prashna. See, you were asking the why regarding some state or something that occurred in a state of being when you yourself did not exist. And the mind which is asking the question, mind through which or intellect through which you wish to understand it, that also did not exist then. Then how you, even if someone told you, you will not be able to understand. And those there, if someone asks, why did God create the world? The answer is silence. Because when you attain illumination, this question will not remain. Then everything will be absolutely clear as daylight to you. And therefore, they were able to see that this mind principle, first and foremost, the mind principle by its very nature, outgoing. You cannot ask, why is a quartz crystal piece always emitting radiation? Why not keep quiet? It is doing because it is doing. That is how it was created. It came into being radiating. Mind came into being outgoing tendency. The human mind is by its very nature outgoing, because the mind principle by its very nature had this outgoing tendency already in it when it came into manifestation. Therefore, if mind is always outgoing, you need not be very seriously perturbed. You must know, yes, this is its nature because this is what its nature was. Now I have to deal with it. So you practically start dealing with it. Second thing is, it's always outgoing, but one of the reasons why it is outgoing was explained by the great Lord of Righteousness, Yama Dharmaraja, to a brilliant young seeker, saying, when Brahma created it, Rajoguna was a little extra. Proportion of Tamas, Rajas and Rajoguna became a little extra in its composition. Therefore, Rajoguna is outgoing, it's activity. Because of Rajas, mind is outgoing. Secondly, mind by its very nature is so constituted in its creation that it cannot carry on any process unless it has got the prop of some thing, some object. It has to think of something. It simply cannot think. See? Thinking means thinking of something. So, objectivity, without the prop or the support of something, mind cannot function. It cannot simply function on abstruse, total abstract concept. It cannot. It has also to concretize it by itself through some comparative thing. Then it can think about abstract things. See? What is that Supreme Being? He is qualityless. He is absolutely without any quality. Like water, transparent. Like water. You have to think about water. Think about transparency of water. No quality, no color. Like that. Undifferentiated and without any quality. Therefore, it has this inveterate tendency of having to function only with the dependence of some prop objectivity. This is a second quality, nature of the mind. And the third, this is the most vexing. Okay, if you want to think of this object. If you give it to an object, do you think it will think of that object and keep quiet immediately? Within 2 seconds it will hop to another object. Within 5 seconds it must hop to a third object. See? Constantly. So it cannot dwell continuously upon any one single object constantly. It has to keep on hopping. Like there used to be a spring frog. Hoppity. Like that. Someone used to call it a grasshopper mind. Gurudev always used to call it monkey. Branch to branch, always looking here. Wanting, see any monkey, always restive, always wanting to. So, this is called, in Sanskrit they call it Bahirangatva, Vishakaratva and Nanatva. It is always going outside. It is always objectivity. It has to think of and always jump from one object to another. Many, it can think of many. It can never think of one. That was the entire problem of Patanjali. How to make human yogi's mind think of one to the exclusion of all other things. So he had to create an elaborate system. And the Bhakti people created a very elaborate system. They said, okay, he has to think of God. But he cannot think of one thing only. Therefore, they gave entire Leela of God. All right, you think of 100 things, but ultimately all centered on one only. Krishna Leela, Rama means 100 different things, yet Krishna is always there, because he is all related to him. Like that, they try to give a little concession to this tendency of the mind. So gradually, by thinking many thoughts, all concerning one single objective, gradually that will become predominant, all other things will fall away. So they took that device. So the nature of the mind is outgoing tendency, its necessity of having a prop, an object to think, and its constant fluctuating fickleness. This is the nature of the mind. Naturally, when we acquired that mind, we acquired it with all these three qualities. Our mind is outgoing, our mind is fickle, mind always wants to think, keep on thinking of one thing or other. And so, in order to provide for this nature, they had to devise a certain way of controlling it. How to control it? All right, let it go. Suddenly we cannot overnight ask it to stop its entire nature. Right? You cannot kill the mind. All right, let it go on. But if you are trying to rear up a little goat or a nice lamb or a sheep, and it gets into the habit of eating all types of things, garbage here and there, chewing of paper, chewing of cloth. So what do? It has to eat. But if I let it loose, it goes everywhere, and then maybe nowadays if it goes into neighboring farmers' things, it may die of poison. because we put so much poison in what we grow nowadays. So what he did, he tied it, he took it to a nice field with lots of grass and all that, put a peg on the ground and tied it to a, maybe 20 meter or 15 meter rope. So it could browse wherever it wanted, but could not go beyond this. So its area was restricted to that which is beneficial and not harmful to it. So let the mind function, but restrict its area. Try to make it go around only in those things, which will not rebound upon you in a negative and a harmful way. That is one of the things that you have to do. And the entire life of a human being is connected with mind. And entire life, therefore, also is part of the process of controlling the mind. If you are eating such foodstuffs that excite the mind, and you want the mind to be calm like Buddha's mind, how you can expect it? Your food should be such that it is not too exciting. It is non-exciting. See, for example, you want to go to a cocktail party and have socializing with all your business friends and all that. How can you expect to be sober? And as the night goes on, steady on your feet. And ultimately, if you give rein to it, the alcohol will completely take your mind away, and then someone will have to carry you and deposit on your doorstep. God forbid. What happens? A little stuff from a little bottle into a little glass, if it goes, it is able to completely, and in a lesser way, there are many things we intake which little by little goes into our system. Grossest portion is eliminated. The next portion, which is not very gross, gets absorbed into our gross body, becomes the blood and our blood cells and nerves and all that. But the quality of the food, the finest portion, the vibration, the quality, it ascends and forms the mind stuff. So if the quality of the food is tamasic, mind also becomes tamasic. It is rajasic, mind becomes. If it is sattvic, mind becomes very refined, it becomes very subtle and becomes easier to control. So food, I am only telling of one food. But Shankaracharya went one step better. He said, food is something ingested into the body, therefore you call it food. But so many things enter the body, not necessarily through the mouth and tongue and throat. So many things enter the body through the ear, so many things enter the body through the eyes, so many things enter the body through touch, smell. All these also constitute the food of the human psyche, human individual. Human psyche, human individual. Therefore, you must be careful what type of food goes inside. What are the sights, what are the sounds, what are the environmental things. See? And God forbid that any little kid should be brought up in a big city nowadays. The billboards that they put for advertisement contains so much of absolute dirt, you see, that it is enough to corrupt even adult minds. What to tell of? These impressions form. Anything that are perceived by the five senses, immediately an impression is created in the mind. Immediately. Quicker than the most sensitive of lenses, immediately sensitive camera plates. They are all called subtle impressions, samskaras. Mind is a bundle of samskaras, it is filled with samskaras. And same experience or same sight being taken day after day, it creates a definite tendency in a particular direction inside. A definite inclination to move in a particular direction is created in the mind inside. It is called vasana. It is a latent tendency, an inclination, built-in inclination. If they accumulate, whatever these are, that the person is. The character of the person, behavior of the person is dictated by what is inside his mind. And mind is a bundle of these very subtle impressions and very subtle tendencies. And so, if you are not careless, if wrong type of tendencies go in, you start becoming unable to control your moods and sentiments, unable to control your thoughts and feelings, your sense appetites, and become a problem to yourself. If you are wise and allow only create good impressions, noble, sublime, pure, spiritual impressions, samskaras and tendencies, vasanas, then you become a person who is always inclined in the right direction, towards noble sentiments, good thoughts. See? This, therefore, you must be careful how mind is formed. The literature that you read, the sights that you see, the company that you keep, see, all these go to make up the sum totality of the intake into your psyche. And mind takes this impression and puts it into one part of it. Because the inner man, we have 5 sheets, this is gross physical sheet is fed by food. But inside there are 3 sheets. I don't talk about the 5th sheet. 3 sheets. One is the vital energy, which we call life. If it is there, you are a living person. If it is not there, you are a dead person. And there is the 3rd sheet of thought, sentiment, emotion. 4th sheet of logic, reasoning, intellect. You see, these 3 sheets are the inner man. They are called suksham charir. This is called gross body, that is called subtle body. So the lodgement of the mind, the place where the mind is in the subtle body. And there, in the subtle body, 3rd and 4th sheets constitute mind and intellect. Mind means sentiment, emotion, everything. Intellect means reason, logic, both in the right direction and the wrong direction. Many criminals are there, super intelligent. Even police cannot, they make use of the latest modern technique, and they are able to break locks and go into bank. Super, but perverted, going in the wrong direction. And the repository of all these things, all the input is in a deeper depth. It is called memory. So mind as thought, emotion and sentiment, mind as reason, intellect and logic, mind as memory, retentive memory. These are 3 aspects. Now, there is a 4th aspect that coordinates the function of all these, directs the function of the intellect, and gets fooled, bound, held, enslaved by thoughts, emotions, moods, and is able to make use of memory. It is the being called I. I think, I remember, I want to remember. See, I feel like this. Oh, I know, you don't have to tell me. I have figured it out. So, arrogates itself, intelligence. But when it comes to managing the mind, hopeless failure. You see, hopeless failure. And the great mystery there is, it is not able to understand, it is not able to perceive that it is being fooled by the mind at every step. It thinks everything is okay. I am okay, you are okay, we are okay, everything is okay. But all the while, it is being led by the nose, by this subtle thing called mind. It is fooled at every step. It is completely a slave, but thinks, I am the master. That is the delusion of the thing called ego. These 4 go to make the inner instrument. See, what the Western people call psyche, we call it the inner instrument, antakarana. And it is made up of mind, intellect, memory, ego. See, manas, buddhi, chitta, and this kingpin, ahankar, who is really a nothing. See, but thinks I am everything. See? Every day, the mysterious thing called Maya puts an end to him. See, now your ahankar is very active, manifest. If you go to sleep, this world vanishes, and you as an active, effective person in the world also vanish. When you are sleeping, you may be dreaming there. In that subtle ahankar is there, I is there, but it is of no effect. See? If you are dreaming there, and some big spider comes into the room, your wife screams, "Hey John, please get up, the spider is..." unless he shakes you and wakes you, you cannot do anything about the spider. Even though the ego may be having a big dream, very, very active there. So that ego is ineffective ego, it is there. But you as an effective, physical, earthly, worldly ego personality, you are not there, you are extinct. Finished. And one more stage comes when neither you as a big personality ego here, nor you as a dreaming personality ego there, both vanish. Your ego is effaced, your ego is nullified, your ego becomes extinct. That means every day you are killed, you are destroyed. And for many hours you are no more. And yet when you wake up, we start arrogating ourselves. We give a sense of reality. A person who is bundled and thrown away in one, you can do nothing about it. Every day when the sleep overcomes you, you say, no, I don't want to sleep. You cannot. In spite of that, you will be bundled and thrown away. You are a nullity. What is this thing? This ego principle is a nullity. Each cycle of 24 hours, you become a zero. And yet, that is the nature of the ego. He will try to assert, try to be aggressive and arrogate himself, even though helpless in the deep sleep state to assert oneself, and helpless in the waking state to do anything about the mind. The mind is taking you for a ride, always playing with you. And so, if you want to get control of the mind, you will have to tell yourself, no, this is impossible situation. Henceforward, I am not going to play into the hands of the mind. Because even though I am part of the inner instrument, I am a distinct aspect and I am an important aspect. Therefore, I will assert my importance, and you must learn to stand back and say, I am distinct from the mind. I am different from the mind. Mind you, I am not telling you this in the Vedantic sense, in the spiritual metaphysics sense. No, that comes next. Even in the psychological level itself, you must try to affirm your identity as apart from this mind, which is only an instrument given in your hands. You are supposed to make use of it. It is supposed to serve you. Now you have become enslaved by it. You say, enough of this slavery. Today I cry halt. From tomorrow no more will I allow this. Thus far and no further. You have to put your foot down and make up your determined resolve that from tomorrow I will be the director. I will be in charge. Mind is not going to direct me. Mind is not going to take charge of me. I will be in charge. If you do that, then you are on your way to conquering the mind, on your way to controlling the mind. As long as you are absolutely identifying yourself with the mind, and whatever the mind desires, you think I desire, whatever the mind feels, you think I feel, whatever the mind thinks, yes, this is my thought, and therefore you want to conform it, and if someone contradicts it, you are ready to fight. No. If you go into a wrong thought, if you are gripped by a wrong thought, and you start doing something foolish, someone pulls you back and says, hey, what are you doing? This is very wrong of you. You must not try to defend yourself, but say, yes, my God, I am sorry. Thank you for pointing this out to me. I got trapped by the mind. See? I got trapped by it. So you must not identifying yourself with the mind and then start wanting to establish it and then start fighting with someone who contradicts. So anyone who makes you aware that you are being led in a wrong direction by the mind and its wrong thought, you must thank. You see, he is giving me an opportunity to control my mind, practice my yoga. And therefore, you must know on the psychological level, how to stand back, know yourself as distinct from the mind, not part of it, and not obliged to listen to it, not in any way compelled or obliged to do whatever it wants you to do, but on the contrary, you may say, no, I can be myself. I can assert my separate identity apart from the mind, its thoughts, its emotions, its promptings, its egging on. No. Therefore, if you write about turn, if you cry a halt, put your foot down and say, henceforward, when a mind makes a thought, I will first examine it. I will stand apart, be a witness and observe it. First of all, apprise it. What is its nature? Is it an okay thought and if you think that thought is negative and not worthy of you, not worthy of all that you have learned, all that you have been trained to do, out it goes. It will not be, you have no business here, out you go. And if it is a worthy thought, okay, I pay attention, you can be inside. Like that, you have now to assert your independent existence as a factor apart from this ceaselessly thinking mind. Thought has no rest at all. It never ceases. Constantly it is spontaneous, independent thought. You say, I stand aside from the stream. I am not going to flow with the stream. Like that, if you begin to assert yourself and take the mind into your hand and say, you have to do what I want to do, and a simple formula Gurudev gave to start upon this process of controlling the mind. He said, what for a period, make up your mind and say, what the mind wants me to do, urges me to do, maybe 100 times a day, 200 times a day, what the mind wants me to do at any given time, I will not do it. I will go exactly contrary to the mind. And what the mind does not allow me to do, what the mind says, no, make it do it. See? Those who have tried to train a dog will understand this problem. He used to say, don't cooperate with the mind. Stand in opposition to it. You got upset one morning and got into an argument with your wife, stormed out of the house, went away to the office. And mad at yourself, mad at everyone. Cooled off during the office hours. When you came back, you really felt very bad. I've been, so something in you, something decent, says, I must go and apologize. I must tell my wife. Maybe even in the office, I must ring her up and say, no, it's no good. I must go and make up. I must say, please forgive me. What I did was very, very wrong. And the mind will say, no. Yes. Prestige issue. Why should I go apologize? And it is then you have to assert yourself. If you say no, go immediately. First thing you do, as soon as you ring the bell and door opens, apologize to her. That is so. Force the mind to do what it does not want to do, is reluctant to do, and refuse to do what the mind wants to do. This is one formula. You see, it is a big subject and never ending. But now I have a little bit of the nature of the mind I have told you. It is ever outgoing and always objectifying. You think of things and always flitting from place to place. And if you want to change its nature, you must try to concentrate and make the mind sattvic, observe and do asanas. Body, prana, mind are interconnected. If the steadiness comes into the body, then steadiness comes into the mind, prana, then mind also easier to make it steady later on. And withdraw the mind again and again by practicing a little bit of pratyahara. And in order to concentrate the mind, whatever you are doing, whatever your walk of life, at home, in place of, whatever you do, try to do with full attention. Never allow the mind to be distracted. No matter what you are doing, try to do with full attention. See, your attention should be such as the attention of a Swiss watchmaker into whose workshop a very delicate little wristwatch has come for repair. And you cannot even see it with naked eyes. He puts on a lens and then with tiny little things, See, even at that time, even if a cannon goes off, he won't even hear it, because his whole mind is absorbed in that. Like that, anything and everything that you do with full attention. That itself becomes a training for concentrating the mind, controlling the mind. See? And having told you, non-cooperation, refusing to do what the mind wants to do is the key. And that is possible only if you make up your mind to know of yourself psychologically as a distinct factor inside, not one with the mind, but other, independent, apart from it, different from it. So, not being obliged to identify yourself with it, not being obliged to do whatever it wants you to do. In that way, you take your stand upon a different ground now, within yourself. And later on, of course, that different ground will become much higher, spiritual. I am not body, mind, prana, I am Atman. That's a different thing. Psychologically, try to affirm and assert your independent identity as apart from the mind mechanism and its ceaseless activity. Then alone you will be able to do this non-cooperation. And you persist in it. In the beginning it may be difficult. If you persist in it, nothing is impossible. Everything is possible. Nothing is impossible. If you persist in it, one day you will attain it. This is the promise of Lord Krishna himself. And in the meanwhile, anything that increases sattva helps you to control the mind. Japa of God's name, see, reading scriptures, holy company, chanting kirtan, writing mantra, all these help. And more than anything else, if you want to control the mind, give up its wrong habits, company of seekers, company of devotees of God, company of good people who are trying to lead a good life, company of people who are trying to have an ideal before them and trying to live up to that ideal, idealistic people. They will all help you in overcoming the mind. And also read Gurudev's book, Mind, Its Mysteries and Control. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. God bless you.
When emotions like anger, loss, fear, abandonment, rejection or depression strike, what can one do to return to his or her center, peace and equanimity? How should we deal with all that energy that often paralyzes us? Well, what can one do? Look within. Why am I angry? What is the loss for me? What did I lose? What is it that I am afraid of? Who is to abandon me if I haven't abandoned myself? Look within. Anger is caused by your own expectation, misplaced. When you did not get what you want, you get angry. And you find somebody as the cause. Loss. What did you have to lose? Is there anything that you could call yourself, yours? There's nothing for us to lose. You came with nothing. Go with nothing, what do you lose? Have you ever seen anybody coming with a penny in the mouth? A baby? No. We come with empty hand. And even the empty hand is not there when we really came into that little apartment. You know, the mother's apartment where we got in, we didn't even have a hand. We didn't even have a body. See, even the body is not ours. It's mommy who ate all the calcium, phosphorus, iron, potassium. Built the body for you. It's mother's body. That's why you leave it with the big mother afterwards. The little mother gave you, the big mother takes it away. She gathered elements, like the birds collecting elements to build a nest. You build a house, you collect all the materials. So even the body is not yours. So what is it that you lose? Nothing. If it's something is yours, then you can lose something. So whenever you seem to have lost something, think of it. Since when it was mine? Then you will laugh at it. It was never mine. It just came. Anything that comes will go. Then there is a coming, there is a going. That's why we have a welcome party and a send-off party. Right? Which is more important? One without the other is impossible. Welcome somebody, garlanding and a big fanfare and reception party. Equally important, goodbye, send-off party. You cannot have only one side party. So think in these terms. No anger, no fear, no loss, no abandonment. Abandonment, why? Because you are depending on somebody to band you. As long as you are depending on somebody, you will be abandoned one day. The people who abandon you are opening your eyes that don't depend on me. You are on your own. Nobody can abandon you if you decide not to abandon yourself. So these are all things that rejection, depression, strike, it's all the same. You want somebody to approve you. We are always doing things for others' sake. Others have to appreciate you. Others have to say, oh, you are pretty. Just for others to say that you are pretty. You go to Revlon, Avon and this and that. Spend hours and hours and packing up everything, spoiling your whole health. Because somebody else has to tell you. No. The mirror in your home that you paid so much will not tell you early in the morning that you are pretty. You are what you are. Why to be afraid of it? We put false identity, false value to things. So we lose our contentment, our own inner happiness. You work so hard to have plastic surgery to take away one wrinkle, and you go all the way to Africa to take a picture of an old person with hundreds of wrinkles. And you put that picture in the gallery and people come to see that. Sometimes we feel like laughing at these people. What a value we put on these things. You kill yourself, you die in the name of diamond, 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 diamond. Throw a diamond in front of a little chicken. He'll pick up. Nothing good to eat. Throw it out. It will look for a grain of rice. Even the chicken is not valuing your diamond which you are dying for. Not that I say you should not have diamond, but please don't die in the name of diamond. If it comes, carry the stone. When it goes, let it go. So we should never learn to depend on things. Inner beauty is the real beauty. The old saintly lady Avvayar one time said, Kunji alagum kodunthane kottalagum manjal alagum alagalla நெஞ்சத்து நல்லம் யாம் என்னும் நடுவு நிலைமையால் கல்வி அழகே அழகு. An old lady talks about beauty. What is real beauty? Kunji alagu. Is it the hairdo beauty? Brings you beauty? Kodundanai. Is it the dress that brings you beauty? Manjal alagam. Is it the powder that makes you beautiful? Even in those days, they had all these things. So she was talking about all these beauty are not real beauty. Then what is real beauty? If you have a beautiful mind, a crystal clear, balanced, நெஞ்சத்து நல்லம் யாம் என்னும் நடுவு நிலைமையால், I am clean and I am balanced. If you have that kind of mind, nobody can hide your beauty. Everybody can see your beauty, the inner beauty. Make-up beauty is not, it will collapse one day. It's just make-up. Bring out your inner beauty. That means if you're always happy, contented, accepting things that come and go, who can rob your beauty? It's a happy mind that makes you look beautiful. It's the beautiful mind that reflects through the body. Every cell responds to your beauty, mental beauty, and they become healthy. That is what, even in this modern day medicine, they say, make your mind beautiful, you can make your body beautiful. Thought can change every molecule of the body. So let us not depend on other things, outside things. If they come, fine, let them. Let them be around you. When they go, let them go. And there is a coming, there is a going. Don't let your mind be affected by that. That's what you call equanimity. And how to get these things is the last part of the question. It's very simple. One day or other we are all going to get it. Why? Because we are all going to feel sick and tired of the other things. So if you feel sick and tired sooner, you will get it faster. The pain sometimes that we face is not really caused by anybody else. Nobody can cause us pain. If only we have the right attitude. Sometimes you may say, yes, he came, hurt me, my body or my mind. But still, it's your job to get pained by it or ignore it or sympathize with that person. If your attitude is, maybe he doesn't know what he was doing. Like Lord Jesus, when he was crucified, he said, the poor fellows, ignorant, they didn't know what they are doing. He didn't have any anger towards them. He didn't get pained by that. See, by our attitude, we can stay away from getting pained, and at the same time we can help them by our sympathetic approach. They are ignorant. They don't know what better to do. That's all they know. If a dog barks at me, I cannot ask that, why don't you speak in Sanskrit? And the dog will wag the tail. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's all. A dog is a dog. That's all it can do. Expecting the dog to talk to you in a high language is your mistake. So understand the person for what he is. You are free. It's not here, we are here to constantly compare ourselves with others. You are just you. Fortunately or unfortunately, in the entire creation, there's no duplicate. God has never duplicated anything. There's only one Swami Satchidananda. Nobody can imitate that person. When you try to imitate me, you forget who you are and what your responsibility is, why you are made that way, what is your purpose in doing. If the steering wheel wants to imitate the front wheel of the car, it will jump out of the car and rotate. Which is important, the steering wheel or the front wheel or the back wheel? Everything and everybody is equally important. So you just know who you are, what you should be doing, why you are created. Swadharma. Do your dharma. Don't try to imitate others' dharma. The scripture says, even though the other dharma, paradharma, looks beautiful, he just sits there and computes and counts money, and I'm here working with the tools in the job with all dirty hand. That's his job, this is your job. He doesn't know yours, you don't know theirs. You are made for that. It's your job keeps him counting money there. If you are not doing your job, what can he count? He can count only the bills, not the money. See, we are intertwined. We are interdependent. Nobody is superior, nobody is inferior. Just because I happen to be created for this job, I'm sitting up here and giving you talk. Even call myself Guru. Your job is to sit there and as if you know nothing, not even. Until the curtain closes. There's no superiority or inferiority. Remember that. If there are not 100 people there sitting there and say, Guru, I won't be a guru. I need people like you to make myself a guru. So you are the guru maker. You all turn around and, we have seen hundreds of fakes like these. Gone, all my guru dumb. Huh? Nobody should put oneself down. Even a small quarter pin is equally important. Like that of an axle in an engine. Thiruvalluvar says, Uruvu kண்டு ellame vendum. Urul perunderukku achani annar udaithu. Don't look at somebody and say big or small. There are people who are like the wheel of a chariot, and there are people who are the quarter pin at the end of the axle. Without the quarter pin, the wheel won't be in place. It will be in the ditch. You should learn to respect everybody, and you can do that only when you respect yourself. Copying somebody and putting yourself down always means you are not respecting who you are. You seem to have a very poor opinion about yourself. Lost your self-esteem. That's one. So, if we have the right attitude, there's no need for any pain in life. There's no need to point our finger and say, he caused me pain. No. Change the attitude. And in another factor, pain is an eye-opener. It opens your eye. It helps you think. Why did I get pained? What did I do wrong? How can I correct it? Master Shivananji always used to say, pain is your best friend. If you want to grow, get lot of pain, a lot of friends who will cause you pain. Yeah. Yes. If anybody boosts your ego, know that he is your enemy. Yes. If anybody is trying to hurt your ego, salute him. Love that person. Give him more opportunity to look for the ego and hurt. He's like a doctor, investigating the problems in the body and mind. Is it a sort of invasive something? You find out where the ego hides. So pain is a friend. Dear Gurudev, our daughter, 5-year-old, always wants more. Before she looks at what she has received, she measures what others have. How can we help her to find satisfaction? Well, because she is 5-year-old, she may find it difficult to understand your explanations. Why you want her not to have it, and why she should not compare with others. But if she can understand, explain it to her. I said, this is all we can afford to now. Even if we can afford more, you don't need it more. By having too many things, you will be spoiled. So this is enough for you now. And look, how many people don't have even this much? Instead of looking at the people who have more, look at the people who have less. How fortunate you are. So take time to if she can understand. But if she is not in a period, a state where she cannot understand your explanations, then you can just simply say, no, mommy says no. It's no good for you, and you may not understand my explanations. Trust me. Do it. If she still puts tantrum, keep a separate room. You see, a room without anything that she would get hurt. And quietly take that girl to that room and say, honey, stay there. I'm just going to close the door. When you finish all your tantrum and come and knock at my door and say, Mommy, I am all right, please open the door, I'll open the door for you. That means be firm. Yeah. Don't give in. When children begin to put tantrum, and if you give in, you are spoiling them. Remember, we are more firm with kindness in training our puppies. Sometimes we think that our babies are more worse than puppies. We spoil them. No. Being firm, lovingly firm, is necessary. Don't think that by giving everything and spoiling them, you are loving them. You are not really loving them. You are spoiling. You are hurting their future. Remember, when I am a little lazy in the morning and I get up late and I go to my mommy and say, Mommy, I'm in a hurry to go to school, give me my breakfast. She will ask me, did you go to the meditation room? Did you say your prayer? Mommy, I got late. I didn't have time for... Oh, I see. So you have time to eat your breakfast? Why don't you use that time to go and pray? Breakfast, you can have it tomorrow. I would even used to think, what a cruel mommy. Refusing to give the poor child breakfast. Now I worship her, Mommy, you did a great job towards me. If you haven't done that, I won't be here like this today. That's all. Let your children think of you later like that. Let them worship you by being good parents, strict, loving parents. Please don't spoil them. In fact, many of our children get spoiled. They have got a disease called affluenza. Yeah. You have too much, you are a multimillionaire, so why not? Give everything that child needs. I have seen in America, every house, rich or poor, always one room filled with toys. Toys R Us. And look at that, commercials, how tempting. And the children see the commercial and they want to buy it. And you should be a good mother and say, you want to buy it, you can't buy it. Yeah. You are not going to have it. You have so many other things, play with that now. That's enough. We are really spoiling our children because we are spoiled. I feel very sorry for as a whole, the American nation. They are all spoiled. Lavish. Too much. Naturally, people, when they close the tap, we freeze here. No oil. When they close the pipeline there, you are freezing below 40. shame. What kind of freedom we have then? How much of a dependency we have? We say, we are a free country. You are not really free. Even if you live a very simple life, go in a bicycle, you don't need cars if you can't get gasoline. Instead of going and waging war against them, as if the whole world belongs to us. They happen to be living on the oil. That's their country. We grow millions of tons of food, abundance here. Can they come and take it? You sell it. And if you don't get the right price, you even dump it in the sea to keep the price under control. Is it not so? You know that? In California, truckloads of oranges are dumped into the sea one time because if they bring it to the market, the price will go down. In Arizona, I saw it myself. Beautiful heads of lettuces were plowed back into the field. I asked them why. No, if I pluck this all and take it to the market, the price will go down. How greedy we are. The whole nation has to wake up. It's a shame to call ourselves rich country and to be put to shame by others. Because we don't know how to live a clean life. Simple living, high thinking is what we are expected to. But it's just the opposite. High living, simple thinking. Just the opposite. High life. Even your toilet says American standard. Yeah, our standard is there in the toilet seat, that's all. Your prison and the hospital should say American standard. Nobody is here. Nobody to fill up the prison. Nobody to lie down in the bed in the hospital. No sick people, no criminals. That is the prestige. That's the American standard should be. Our values seem to be looked in very different field, area. What's happening to me? Why do I get into all these things? I don't think. I will be very unpopular very soon. No. Don't mind. Who says I am popular anyway? Yeah. Poor mommy asked about your daughter and I am talking about Look at this, A mommy asked about the doctor and I am talking about Arabian oil. Why is it so hard to do what I know I must do? Because you picked up a hard thing. You want to do something special, something elevating, something lifting up. It's hard. Always hard to lift up something. Elevate yourself. To throw it out, to drop it down is easy. So hard things are always good. And good things are always hard. Be patient. And if you really know the importance of it and the need for it, it doesn't become hard anymore. Things become hard when you don't understand why you are doing, what the benefit is. Then you say, half-hearted, I don't know why I'm doing, I'm just doing. Then it becomes very hard. If you know that you are really going to have a good, nice baby, don't even go look for a hard time in having a little pain in delivering the baby. No pain, no gain. So don't get disheartened by hardship. Know that hardship means you are really going to achieve something great. Face it, and if you can't do it by yourself alone, you can get help also. Choose the right thing and do it somehow. Don't give it. Don't give up, I mean. ஒன்றே செய்க, ஒன்றும் நன்றே செய்க, நன்றும் இன்றே செய்க, இன்றும் இன்னே செய்க. Says the scripture. Do one thing, and that too, let it be good. And that too, do it right now. This minute. Inrum, today, Indru. Indrum, inne, immediately. Don't postpone it. Master Shivanji always used to say, do it now, D-I-N, D-I-N, D-I-N. He dins into our ears. Do it now, do it now, do it now. So, but what is it to do it now? To set fire to somebody's house? You should know what to do, then do it now. Do the right, do good, do it now. Be good, do it now. Christ turned water into wine. Does having a glass of wine before supper do one's body harm? Sure, it won't harm you if you can convert water into wine. Take a glass of water, convert it into wine and drink it, you're perfectly all right. Simple, huh? Who says no, you should not do it? Go ahead, do it. Is there a glass of water there? We just quote great people, sages and saints. They have done it, why not me? Yeah. Sure you can be, if in every respect you did the same thing what they did. If somebody crucifies you, poor fellows don't know. Ignorant people don't know what they are doing. Bless them. It's not just only for wine you quote Jesus. Well, that's a sort of spiritual, no doubt. Because you're talking about spirit. Don't let fool yourself. No. How can one combat indecision? Ask your commander. Yeah. If you cannot combat, go to the commander. Let the person whom you trust will tell you what to do, how to decide. But sometimes we always look for somebody who will say yes to what we want. No. A person who will be neutral should tell you what your decisions are, what should be done. if you cannot. That's why we always go to looking for somebody when we can't decide things ourselves. What is absolute enlightenment? Oh, ha 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 ha. Just to sit relaxed and smile at everybody. That's absolute enlightenment. Don't even open your mouth. If you open your mouth, you lose your enlightenment. Total silence. Within, without. Enjoying the inner happiness. Not to depend on anything. Then you are in light, you are enlightened. Okay? Good. May God bless us all. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari 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 Om. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari 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 Om. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Hari Om. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari 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 Om. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari 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 Om. Hari 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 Om. Om Hari 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 Om. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari 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 Om. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Hari Om. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Hari Om. Hari Hari Om. Hari Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.